Hello, welcome to this channel. My name is Enoch. Today we'll be continuing our series on virtualization, and we'll be doing a very interesting exercise today. We'll be looking at LAMP stack. And what is LAMP stack? LAMP stack is just a popular open source web development. It's just a popular open source web development tools that is used to run dynamic website and server. Just the coming together of different tools that we use to just create a web development environment. So and this LAMP, each of the letter in the LAMP stand for each of the tools that we'll be using. The first one is Linux, which is the operating system that form the base layer of the stack. It provides the foundation and system resources for other components. The A there is Apache HTTP, which is a website, which is the web server software or application that serve web pages to the client. And the M there is MySQL. You can also use MariaDB, which is a relational database management system used for storing and managing data. The P there stands for PHP or Perl or Python. You can use Perl or Python. It's a programming language that is used to write, to develop the web application. So why use LAMP? All the resources, all the tools we are using in LAMP are open source, from Linux, to Apache, to MySQL, to PHP. They are open source, and you can modify them, you can redistribute them, and they have huge community support. They are flexible, they are highly customizable, and you can tailor them to meet your specific need. And they are reliable. Many of these tools have been used for many years. Like Linux is long running in many servers, and it's used to run many applications. So they are stable and they are reliable. So an example of real-world application and project that utilize LAMP stack are content management system like WordPress, Drupal, and Joomla. Today we are going to be looking at WordPress setup on Ubuntu. That's what we're going. That's our exercise today. So let's go to our shell, and I've prepared a working directory that I'm going to use, vms/debian. Okay, now I'm there. Now let's go. Now let's go to Google. Go to Google and type WordPress on Ubuntu. WordPress, okay. Then choose this first one, and let's look at the instruction. WordPress is the most popular open source blogging system and CMS on web. So what do we need? We need a computer running Ubuntu server 20. So let's go and get that first, and let's use let's go to our Vagrant box. Let's get Ubuntu 20. Ubuntu 20, and we can use this first one, and let's copy this first line that we use to put the Vagrant file in our working directory. Shift insert, we put that one there, and this will put the Vagrant file in our working directory. Sorry. Let's put it back. Right, a Vagrant file has been placed in our working directory. Now let me run ls to see it. Now let's edit it using the vi Vagrant file. Let's edit it. I'm sure you are familiar with this by now. I would like to set the host name from here. So config.vm.hostname, and I will name the host name WordPress. And let's go and get a static IP. I will give this one 45.56.45, and we can also get a public IP. Get a public IP too. And now let's set our RAM. I'll be giving it 1.5 gigabyte RAM. That's all we need. We set our RAM, we set our public network, which will give us an IP. The DHCP will give us an IP, a public IP address. And we have set the static IP, we have set the host name, that's the box name, and that's all. Let's save and let's bring up our VM. Vagrant up. Our VM is up. Let's log into our VM now. Vagrant SSH. All right, we are in our VM now. I'll change to the root user. The first thing we will do, this is an Ubuntu machine. Let's run apt update. All right, while the app update is running, let's go to our WordPress site and let's go to the next step. So let's go to the next step. The next step is to install dependencies. So we'll copy the dependencies and I will put it in a notepad and edit it. Put it in notepad and I will edit it. All right, I'll put -y over here so that it will not ask any question. And what this is doing is just installing all the dependencies: Apache 2, PHP, MySQL server, PHP, MySQL, everything we will need. That's what this is doing. This is installing. So installing all the dependencies that is needed. Already the update is done. Let's clear our screen. Let's use Shift Insert and let's press Enter. The backward slash that you are seeing is just if you want to continue your command on the next line, you can just do space / and continue your command. That's just what is there. I don't want you to get confused with that. And after we install the dependency, the next thing will be to install WordPress. Let's look at it. Installing WordPress. Let's copy this set of command and let's go and see what it's doing. Let's go and see what it's doing. Let me explain what each command is doing now. Now the first command there is to create a directory. It's to create a file. The -p that you are seeing there is in case this parent directory is not created already. -p will make it run and need to create everything. So, and if it has been created before, it will override it. So that's that. And the second command there is we are changing the ownership of this file we are creating. We are changing the ownership to www-data. This particular user will be created when the Apache 2 was downloaded. This particular user will be created when the Apache was downloaded. So we are changing the ownership of this file to this, which I will show you as we do it. And this call that you're looking at, you know what it does. Call is used to transfer data over URL, and it will take all the source code from this WordPress site in zip format, and it will give it as input, and it will unzip it. This command is used to unzip it using the root privilege and using this user. This -u is for user, so this is the user, and tar is to create an archive or to extract an archive. So this S is to extract, and Z is for output, and it's copying the output, is copying the content into this particular file. That's just what it's doing. So let's go and so we are creating this particular file. The file has been created, and the next thing will be to change the ownership of the file. That's what is there. So we change the ownership. chown is to change ownership. So if you look at ls-ld/srv/. you will see that the file is owned by root. But when we run this command, you will see that the file will now be owned by www-data. So run it again and you see that it's now owned by www-data, and it's also in the group of the same thing, www-data. So that's it. Let's go and get a call command now. And so like I told you, call is used to transfer data over URL. It uses different protocol like HTTP, HTTPS, and you can do a lot of things with call. So this will get the source code in zip format, and it will extract it using the root user privilege, and it will extract it and place the content inside this particular file. That's what this is doing. And if you do ls -l now, you will see this is the content that has just been extracted into this file. If you do it again, if you do WordPress, you will see all the content. You see, these are the content part of what was extracted. So that's that. Let's move on to the next step. The next step is to configure Apache, to set up the configuration for Apache. All right, so they said create Apache site for WordPress. Create this file with the following lines. So we will use vim. Let's copy this part and we'll place that configuration in it. So let's go to our shell, vim, shift, insert, and press enter. And let's get what we have to place. This is the configuration they want us to place in it. And I will tell you what this configuration is doing now. The configuration is basically changing the document root. See, the document root where we place our web file in Apache is /var/www/html. That's where we will place our index.html file and CSS file and every other thing that works for the web page. But this configuration is changing it to srv/wordpress. That's what will be serving that's what will be serving the web page now. All right, so let's copy this and let me first copy it here, and let me go to my shell. Let me put it here, shift insert, and let's save, and let's get out. All right, so the configuration has been sorted out. Now the next thing now is to configure database. Okay, let's finish this. Let's enable the site. Let's enable WordPress site. Now this command will enable WordPress site. The next command here will set the redirect rule, and this last command will disable the default website. If you check ls-etc/apache2, you will see there are a number of sites. Okay, there are a number of files there. And if you go to enabled, you will see there is a link there. This is the default site pointing to this site available. See, by the time we finish running all these commands that we want to run, it will disable this website and enable the WordPress website. All right, so let's do the first one. This will enable WordPress website. All right, so let's get the second one, which will set the redirect rule. Go to our shell, shift insert. This will set the redirect rule. And the next one will be to disable the default website. So let's copy this and let us insert. Now let me clear my screen. So the last thing now would be to now restart the Apache service. So let's restart it. All right, that has been done. Now let's now check what we have done. You will now see that you can see this now. WordPress.conf is now pointing to site available, and if you check site available, you will see there are 3 files there. You can see this is the default site which we have deactivated, and this is now the one that is now activated, WordPress.conf. All right, so that's what that is doing. It's always good to have an idea of what the configuration file is doing and every command you are also running. So it'll help you to be able to manipulate it as suit you. Let's go and configure the database now. That's the next step. So this first command we activate. This next command will take us into the MySQL client. It will take us into MySQL. So let's do that. So what it's doing, it will take us in type using the root privilege and the root user. You can see the error I made. I copied the $sign with it. All right, now we are in MySQL client. Now the next thing now is to create a database. So we'll be creating a database named WordPress. Creating a database called WordPress. That's the next one. So I'll put it in my, go to our terminal now and shift insert. Now we have created a database. You see every MySQL command end with semicolon. If I want to see the database, I can say show databases, semicolon, and it will show us the database. So WordPress database has been created. Now you can check your database by running show databases, semicolon. Show databases, semicolon, and you can see that now we have a WordPress database. All right, so now the next thing will be to create a user. Step will be to create a user, and if you look at here, where we create the data, we'll create user. And after we create the database WordPress, then we'll now create a user WordPress at localhost. That's the user, and we identify the user by a password which we are going to set. So I've copied it here. Now I've set the password as admin123. Set the password as admin123. So copy it and let's go to our shell. So that is done. We'll create a user WordPress at localhost identified with this password. And the next command now is to grant privileges. Let me explain what this is doing now. So let's go to our, and this, let me change it to one line command. This is doing basically is grant, select, insert, update, delete, create, drop, alter privileges on WordPress. Everything on WordPress at WordPress.asterisk. That means all the data on WordPress we can perform this on it, and who is the user that can perform it? They are granting the privileges to WordPress at localhost. This is the user that they are granting the privileges. So that's that. Let's copy it and let's go and run it. All right, that's done. And now the next thing will be to refresh the database, flush privileges. So that's what that is doing, to refresh things. Set flush privileges, and the next thing will be to quit now. So I don't need to copy that one. Quit with your semicolon, with your shell, quit with your semicolon, and that's that. So now we're out. Let us now go and see our next step. That we should enable my SQL with sudo, so we can copy this to enable my SQL service. So running on the shell, inside. All right, that is done. Let me clear my screen. And let's go to the next thing. So the next thing now is to configure WordPress to connect to database. That's the next thing we're doing now. So let's copy this. I will explain what the command is doing. Now this command is basically copying the content of this configuration to this particular file. It's renaming it using this using root user privilege. Let's go to our shell, so shift insert. So it's just copying the content of this file, this CP, copying the content of this file to this particular file. If you see this file does not exist. This is a file that exists. It's just renaming it to this. So that's what it's doing, using this user and root user privilege. So that's what has been done. So let's configure WordPress to use. First, copy the sample configuration to, that's what we are doing. The next thing is to set our environment variables, the password, set the database credentials in the configuration file. So that's what we want to do now. Let me explain what this is doing. So this is a set command. It's used for search and replace. So in this configuration file, it will search for database _name _here, and it will replace it with WordPress. So that's what it's doing. If you go to your shell and you look at vim/srv/www/WordPress, check the configuration again. SRV WordPress WP. You will see that /shift insert. You will see that. So you have database _name.here. So he's going to change this to WordPress, change this to WordPress, and change this to the password, which is admin123 that we are putting. So that's what the command is going to do. So let's do it now, one after the other. Let me change the password first. Edit the password, admin123, right? That's correct. All right, so let's do it one after the other. I don't like to copy multiple commands together. Prefer to do them one to just not waste our time on any avoidable error. So that one is done. Let's go to the next one. So this will change username _here to WordPress. So shift insert. That's done. So the next one. So this will change the password to the correct password. Now, if you go and check this file, you will see that it has been changed. You can see WordPress admin123. So that was the command we just ran now. That was what he did. So let's go to the next thing. Now the next thing is we will edit the configuration file in Nano. We will be doing it in VIM. We will not do it in Nano. I've not treated Nano in this, so I will do it. I'll do it in VI. So this Nano, just change it to VIM. VIM. It. Let's go to the shell and shift insert and press enter. What's the next instruction? They said find in the terminal section, open the configuration file. We have opened this configuration file. They said find the following. So we're going to find this. Let's find it. So if you look at this, is what they said we should find. Find this. So there's a space after it. We are going to go to the last line. All right, how many lines are that? Those are 6, 8. Those are 8 lines. All right, what do they want us to do with it? They said delete those lines and then replace it with the content of this particular website. Let's open the site. So this is what they want us to replace it with. So I'll copy everything. And let's go to our configuration file. So these are 8 lines. So I'm going to use 8dd to delete everything. Use shift insert to copy what you, and there was a space there. So let's put the space now. Save and quit. Let's just do it gently. Let's move to the next step. So now the next step, now we need to get the IP address. All right, we are done now. Let's get the IP address show. Now we have 192.168.5645. 192.45. Voila, our WordPress has been set up. Okay, now let's go and log in. Scared. All right, let's do it. DevOps. Now username, I would use Enoch for the username. And I'll copy this password, and I will use Denok at just use any password, any fake password, and press. Let's log in. Now Enoch, password. Now we are in. That's just what I want to show you. Now that's it. You can do it. If there is anything confusing, just go through this video again and follow it step by step, and I'm sure you can do it. So that's a WordPress website that we have just set up just now. You can see it's easy peasy. Just follow it, and I'm sure you'll be good. If you're having any problem, please check it again and again and again. Make sure you don't make any mistake, and you will be fine. So that's that on today's video. I will be seeing you in the next video. Thank you for watching.